This weekend we're in Sanur for a little weekend staycation. In this video we're going to compare Sanur to where we've been staying in Seminyak in terms of the beaches, the prices and tourism right now.
So if you're interested, then keep on watching.
So we're sitting at the beach now. We're at a beach called Murtasari. It's not, I'd say, the main beach here in Sanur. That would be Sanur Beach, which is more popular, but let's start by talking about the beaches then. So what did you think of this beach?
Well, when we first arrived here, we parked up a bit further on down, maybe like 200 or 300 meters away, and down there it was really busy, like loads of vendors selling food, drinks, everything, and also really busy with locals just swimming and playing and having fun. Lots of kite flying and jumping in the water, and it seemed really lovely but a bit busy, I would say. So we walked on further down and found this cafe called Genius.
It's a nicer vibe. This is more similar to what we'd recognize in Seminyak. It was raining just a few minutes ago, so they're not now, but there were bean bags and we've got tables and you can sit on the beach and have your drinks and things like that. That's quite similar with Seminyak. One thing that's very different is the water and the sea here. I'll show you now. Like we said, very still water, quite shallow, and the waves are really far out, super far. So not a surfing beach, but still nice with a bit of sun again now.
Yeah, it's nice now.
And the other major thing is there's a lot of boats in the water. The start of Murtasari Beach, even more, loads of boats in the water. So you can swim, but I'd say it's not the best vibe. You know, it's a bit busy, it could be a bit polluted or noisy when the boats are coming and going, and that's something very different to the beaches on the west coast, like Double Six or Canggu Beach, where you don't see any boats. I suppose it's because the boats from here go to the islands, like we can see in Nusa Penida over there, and they don't do those kind of boat trips so much on the west coast, so that's, I would say, a little bit of a con for the beaches in Sanur and on the east coast.
Yeah, the beach seems fairly clean. There's a little bit of trash, but it's not super dirty. The water, like Lewis said, is a bit more murky, maybe a bit more polluted from the boats, but I mean, I guess it's still pleasant to swim in if you want to. And there are a few cafes along this beach, not as many as there are in Double Six, but like we said, Murtasari seems a bit smaller. And the prices seem fairly similar with Seminyak, to be honest. We got a coconut and that was 30,000, and with tax and everything it will be 36,000, and probably similar to what you'd get in Seminyak, isn't it?
Yeah, around about that. At this place that we're at is 21% tax, 10% government and 11% service, which
really
is
high.
Yeah, that's quite high, but 36, it's all right for a coconut. That's quite similar with Seminyak. Little beach snack.
Yeah, so we just got a little snack from the vendor back there. We got tofu, tempeh, tempura, and I think it's all veggie, so that's good, with like a peanut sauce, my favourite.
Some satay sauce, and how much?
Yeah, it was 10,000. I mean, I don't know if that's local price or we got ripped off, but it's fine by me.
How is it? It's good?
Really
Enjoy.
tasty. Thank you.
So in terms of activities, in this area of the beach, they said on nice windy days it's good for windsurfing, kite surfing, things like that. I imagine with all the boats, they do a lot of like diving tours and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas on the west coast, like in Seminyak, those beaches are much better for surfing, just tanning, laying on the beach and chilling out a bit more. So I suppose that's a bit of a difference.
Yeah, definitely. We're used to like having beaches where you can swim and the water's fairly clean, so I don't know which one you prefer. I mean, it depends what you like to do at the beach, really, doesn't it?
And in terms of other activities, things to do in Sanur, I mean, I looked on Google Maps, as I always do, and just go on attractions, and there were a few. For example, some, you know, museums or temples, and there was one abandoned theme park a bit further in the north that I thought we could check out, but overall, I mean, if you're short on time, I think it's more of kind of a chill, hang out on the beach, get some good weather. Maybe that's similar in Seminyak. You know, what other things would you do in Seminyak except hang out on the beach and do those kind of things?
Yeah, maybe like day trips to waterfalls or something, but you could probably do that from Sanur too. And it's a bit closer to Ubud maybe, or Nusa Dua if you want to check out the water sports there. We found some good bargains actually, haven't we? Like we went to a nice cafe earlier and it was around 100,000 for both of us with drinks and lunch, so that's pretty decent, and it had tax included into the prices.
And of course, apart from the beaches, there are always beautiful cafes in Bali. Or to do a bit of shopping. So this is only our second day in Sanur, so we can't say we've been here for a long time, but we'll talk a little about the general vibe. You said when you first arrived it reminded you of like a bit more of a beachside sleepy town. maybe like Da Nang in Vietnam or something like that. It seems a bit slower pace of life than in Seminyak. The roads are a bit smaller and not so built up. So yeah, you kind of do get that slower pace of life, but still on the coast. We've still found a variety of restaurants and nice cafes. So we stopped for a spot of lunch. We're here at the Patio Sanur. We ordered a couple of drinks to start. We've got one iced hazelnut latte. That is good. And one lychee tea to cool us down. And we ordered some food, a couple of panini sandwiches, and then we're gonna head to the beach. So let's check out the food.
Lunch is here. Enjoy.
Dinner time.
Mediterranean.
With B.
We're at the Hive. Everything is honey themed, except the food.
Yeah.
I got my favourite combo that I really miss. Lamb wrap with halloumi inside.
Yeah.
So good. Looks really nice.
It's not bad. How much was it?
Wrap was 115 and then halloumi was 20k extra, so worth it.
Yeah.
And pretty weighty. This is the regular. I was going to go for the mini, but nah, not the mini.
Might even have a cheeky little takeaway for tomorrow.
Looks pretty big.
Yeah. And of course, Sprite and a juice, but strawberry this time.
And overall, the vibe does seem a bit more chilled, and we've noticed that maybe it's a bit more geared towards families or maybe the elder generation. So Lewis and I are probably like the youngest people here, other than the kids. So
Yeah, that's right. People say Sanur is more like a bit more of a family area, and I guess we've seen that by the kind of people that we see. More a bit older. Yeah, I think that's all you can say really. You see quite a few older people and not so many maybe like mid-20s, early 30s people, more like 40s, 50s older.
Yeah.
So that's pros and cons. I mean, maybe it's less party, but more chill, or maybe better accommodation if it's more for families. Don't really know.
yeah, we've seen a lot of signs for retirement visas, so that's the kind of vibe you get. But
I think that tells you a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, the retirement visas. So we did some research about where to stay in Sanur, and we picked a hotel resort called Alantara. It was one of the only places that was rated over 9 on booking.com, in terms of breakfast and value and with a nice pool. So we arrived at our resort and our room is not quite ready on time, so the manager came and said we can have some complimentary cocktails. So I got a Blue Lagoon and a Shirley Temple.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome drinks, done in style. Some complimentary snacks too.
Chicken wings and chips. So, Lewis?
And the Alantara that we're staying at is around $50 a night, which I think it's alright. It's not a bad price. That's about what we paid in Ubud, but I would say our resort in Ubud was significantly nicer and you got better value for it. But we picked one of the highest rated ones in Sanur, so I guess you would expect that.
Yeah, and it's not too far away from the beach. It's around like 4 or 5 minute drive, so that's perfect.
And I would say that our hotel is pretty busy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not full capacity, but yeah, it's still quite busy. Maybe that's because there's not so many choices and options in Sanur, so everyone's a bit more concentrated, but we stayed at some other places. And we were the only guests in some places. When we went to Ubud, we were one of the only guests to stay there. So that's a bit different. Yeah, it almost seems a bit busier, but probably smaller community, smaller place, so people are a bit more concentrated.
Yeah, and our hotel seems really nice. Like Lewis said, it's got breakfast included and a pool, which is lovely. The room is a bit small and maybe a little bit run down, but maybe it's because there haven't been many tourists in Sanur. And we even talked to a local guy who Lewis bought his sunglasses from. Show him these sunglasses.
Don't need them, not a sunny day anymore. But
and he was saying, there were hardly any tourists, and now it's maybe back to 20% tourists so far, so I guess it's picking up still.
Whereas in Seminyak, we've really seen in the last month or so the amount of people that you see wearing swimsuits, walking down to the beach. We live quite close to 66, and in the last month we've noticed a big change, a lot more traffic, taxis going down to the water, and people walking around, tourists. So I think maybe Seminyak is a bit ahead of it. I mean, maybe they go to the main areas, you know, Seminyak, Kuta, go to Ubud and those kind of main areas before they come to slightly less popular areas like Sanur. So probably in the next month or two, that will start to turn more into like Seminyak, and you'll see a lot more tourists around. But when we were walking up that early part of the beach, it was, I would say there were no other foreigners there walking along that part.
And so busy, like I've never seen a beach busier, to be honest, in Bali.
Yeah, it was dead packed, but it was quite cute, you know, to see some of the Indonesian, Balinese kids, you know, they were taking it quite simple, you know, they were flying kites and playing with toys and stuff, not like everyone playing with iPads and iPhones, but yeah, that was quite cute.
Yeah. No, it was really nice, and it was just nice to see it really like lively with the locals and enjoying it, so that's always nice.
So we are leaving Sanur to head back to Seminyak tomorrow, so we've still got a little bit more time, but I think it's a really nice place, you know, to do like we did, take a weekend staycation, you know, to escape some of the traffic. And although you won't get so good sunsets, Sanur and the East Coast is where you want to be for the best sunrises, so if you're an early riser, that would be good. Anyway, had a good time, and I think it's a good place to take a little weekend break.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Do you think you could live here?
Maybe. I mean, it is very simple, rustic, and prices seem okay. If there was a good deal for an apartment here, then we might consider it. But yeah, and it's not too far away from Seminyak. It's only around 30-minute drive by bike, so it's still easy to get back and forth if you do miss 66 Beach.
Yeah, I think some things to consider if it was right for us or for you is the beaches are definitely different, not really a surfy place, and maybe not so nice to sit and swim. And maybe a smaller community, you know, compared to somewhere like Canggu, which is such a dense place of, you know, expats and digital nomad community. I think it's probably slightly older crowd here and a lot smaller community. So if either of those things are important, then you should think about that. So that was our first impressions of Sanur just for the weekend. Overall, we like it. It was a fun little break, and time to head back to Seminyak.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up if you liked it.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye guys.
Bye.